Hi guys, now we got kind of an eXeA internal battle, if you will, between Tydrokos as our green Protoss in the lower right hand corner. This is just a custom game between him and everybody's favorite Zerg in eXeA from North America. That would be DIRESTRAIT in the lower left hand corner, spawning as our purple Zerg. And of course, oh man, this is just wicked of Dire. That's one thing I forgot about him. He actually has a bunch of portraits, a bunch of skins that he unlocked for his Zerg units, and you know, here they are. This is basically the flying fortress, if you will, and upon immediate reception from many Protosses and many Terrans, it was like, oh my god, what is this wicked thing that is flying my way? Oh, okay, it's just an Overlord. Is it going to shoot its spines at me? Oh, okay, no, I'm good. So it's just a skin, and that's it, just a cosmetic. Tydro not stopping to get the tower, not too important because Zergs can't build off of creep, and in order to artificially generate creep, a Zerg must first place down a hatchery, cancel it, and then do whatever with it. And DIRESTRAIT sending out his drone simultaneously because he wants to get a read on just what Tydrokos is trying to do. Alright, so here we go. Tydro getting in. He sees that there's no pool just yet, but of course... Oh, wait a minute. What is this? What is this we see from Dire? No. This can't be a hatch first opener. No. On this map, I know it's not really possible, per se, to throw down a... You could throw down a hatch first, I guess, because it's not possible to do the full pylon block. And, like, Dire says, okay, you know what? You're going to try and block my expo, I'm going to go ahead and block yours. So what just happened here was we saw a hatchery get placed down. We saw it cancel. That means he had escaped immediately afterwards. Then he hit BV and he put it right where he had his hatchery, right on top of the creep. And now we see Tydro is actually forced to pull probes to deal with this. And in the end, the changelings that come out will probably end up killing 1 or 2 probes at most. And I don't think we saw a pylon block go down by Tydro, unfortunately. So this is going to put him just a teensy bit behind. You know, this is going to put him behind a lot. And now we're going to see that Evolution Chamber kind of bleed to death while 2 banelings, or not banelings, but 2 broodlings chase down some probes. They try to go into the main and see if there's any tech going down. And if we just check the income right now, it's going to steadily grow out of control for DIRESTRAIT in comparison to Tydrokos. Yes, Dire going with his hatch first opener. And unfortunately, at this level of play, you know, this is just one slight mistake that we saw Tydro make. He never had his forge ready to go when he actually moved out. It looked like maybe he was opting for Nexus first play. Not floating too terribly much in terms of minerals right now. The photon cannon is going down as well. There's a gateway over here too. And DIRESTRAIT is fully saturated on his main, and so is Tydro. He's actually throwing down double gases right now. He should be chronoing out some probes as well. You know, he's got the minerals for it. Maybe he's trying to make a full wall off with either a gateway or a cybernetics core. Cybernetics core would be ideal, but of course you have to wait for the gateway to finish first. And of course this early we see a third, well, relatively early. At this stage in the game in comparison to our Protoss, we have the third going down when the natural Nexus for Tydrokos isn't even finished. So we're going to see Tydro's income basically suffer. He's going to have to do something to really set back DIRESTRAIT. Of course, for those of you who didn't know already, DIRESTRAIT is a Grandmaster's level Protoss. He's beaten a lot of pros on the ladder. His name, like, for instance, let me think, Cats. He's beaten EG in control on the ladder. I'm trying to think who else. He's beaten Combat X before on the ladder. Oh, here we go. Just check the worker count for now. You know, right now it's relatively small, but there will be a small window of time where we see Tydrokos basically suffering from a huge economic deficit compared to DIRESTRAIT, and the Overlord just has basically like free reign over here. And I want to say one small-ish mistake from Tydro is that right now he actually does not have a sentry here to kind of watch what's going down at the front end of the Forge Fast Expand. And, well, let's just wait and see where things go from here. There are some maps, or excuse me, there are some lings out on the map And of course, you can see that they have new skins, wicked new skins, and once metabolic boost completes, they will look like raptorlings. But behind this, we do see that Tydro's going with his favored Stargate play. He likes to do this a lot versus Zerg, from what I noticed. And the question is DIRESTRAIT going to see it? He doesn't have vision of it yet. And he does not see it. Excuse me. I had to belch there. I apologize. Okay, 3 probes going on each gas in the natural. If we were to just say rewind for about a minute, I would say that these are particularly early gases. You know, if you were to take a minute off the clock, that is when ideally the gases would be up. And if we just check out the worker difference right now, it's 49, 48 to 43. Every little worker makes a difference, and now we see that DIRESTRAIT has had a lead for a significant amount of time. He's going for layer tech right now immediately. He does have roach tech up as well. And let's see here. Spreading creep. A couple more gases. Ironically enough, he hasn't taken any gases from his main. I'm a little curious as to what this may be all about. He does have his mothership core finally on the way, that, and by he I mean Tydrokos. But when this Overlord comes floating in and sees that maybe just now there's a robotics bay going down, DIRESTRAIT's going to know that something's up. He already knows that something's up, really. Because he didn't see any gateways being really thrown down. And infrastructure is now being added. You see that Tydrokos is actually throwing down more gateways to complement that robotics bay. This is basically going to be kind of a Phoenix opener, meant to take control of the map, kill some overlords, maybe supply block DIRESTRAIT, because if you look and see how many overlords there are out on the map in the open right now, you know, overlord spread is one of the most beautiful things that we can see Dire doing. And behind this, we see Dire going for a 4th. When you're ahead, get even further ahead. 65 workers to 56. Hey, 65 is a backwards 56, isn't it? And now, well, basically, Dire knew about the overlords all along. He's got a spore crawler in each base, I imagine. And now we just see Tydro flying in to try and wreak havoc wherever havoc may be wreaked. Spore crawlers, of course, over here shooting up. And it looks like we have Tydro trying to go for the queen. He's actually microing his Phoenix out of the way, the red health one. Beautiful move, as it, you know, he basically maximized everything he could on his micro there. DIRESTRAIT, oh jeez, misclick, sorry about that. DIRESTRAIT picking up a roach. Well, excuse me, not DIRESTRAIT, losing a couple roaches here and there, and now there are Hydras in the mix. And I want to say that what we see Tydro doing is actually just a little bit risky. He should actually be focusing on killing overlords. The Overlord speed has been researched and finished. And now we have Colossi Tech on the way for Tydro. The question is, does he have any out on the map right now? The answer is no. And now we have basically a 2-base Protoss going up against a 3.5 base Zerg. 3.25 base, if you will. And that many roaches versus that many sentries, I would say, would have been, I think, a safe engagement. We do have Zerg missile attacks level 2 on the way for Dire. So it looks like he's basically, I think the composition we'll see from him is going to be Roach, Hydra, and late game Viper. Of course, now we see Swarm Hosts being integrated with this composition, and I like the position of DIRESTRAIT's main army because, of course, we have the Overlord spreading creep here, and he's making sure that Tydrokos cannot actually expo. I want to say this is one of those games where they play seriously. They're not playing one of these trollsy games, at least not presently. It may get that way to a definitive end where one player is actually definitively winning. And right now we have 4 Phoenixes, just basically trying to pull some of these Roaches and Hydras back, and Tydros is trying to clear away wherever he can. But right now we have Dire basically going for, I don't know, a Zerg style hard contain. The only way this could get any worse, I think, is if DIRESTRAIT were to move Overlords over here, start dropping creep, and then throw down some spine crawlers immediately. And speaking of creep, that is some wicked spread. He's actually controlling a good deal of the map right here. And this, you know, this number of Hydras versus just 2 Colossi is actually rather dangerous. The Colossi do outrange the Hydras, 1-for-1 Hydras do relatively well versus what's the word I'm looking for? Hydras do relatively well versus Stalkers, but here we go. You know, the Locusts are kind of pushing in, and Locusts are basically like free hits on the Colossi because the Swarm Hosts, like, they constantly regenerate them. They don't even cost energy. They just take time to make. And now DIRESTRAIT putting his Zerg siege tanks over here. And the Colossi not really able to clear everything away in time. Let's just see what we have Tydrokos following this up with. It looks like he's got Void Rays on the way as his response or his answer. We have another Mothership Core on the way. He might have lost it earlier in something that I wasn't paying attention to. And of course, more Locusts on the way. I want to say that, you know, really right now, Tydrokos is on borrowed time while we have DIRESTRAIT on a full 200 army. Behind this, he should also be teching up. He's still on layer tech, which I think is a little dangerous. Really needs to gear up for that late game tech, and the Swarm Hosts have been caught out of position, but this many Lings and Roaches, they were actually ready to catch the main army out of position. Here we go. Oh boy. There's an Observer properly in position, and if we see this one Void Ray go forward, it could actually end up clearing away these Swarm Hosts, and it looks like that might just be the goal of Tydrokos, but at the speed that we see it happen, I don't know when to say it could actually happen. These Swarm Hosts are basically forced to pick up and turn back home. I want to say these Hero Colossi, you know, they've stayed alive for so long right now. There's no more Void Rays on the way. That's one thing that I like that's so artful about what Tydrokos is doing. He just makes one to solve the problem. And that's that. But here we go. We have a Warp Prism on the way. Actually, another one. I'm wondering if that's a misclick by chance. We do have a Twilight Council here, but we don't see any Twilight Council specific tech coming out. So this leads me to believe that... What just happened? Guys? I'm sorry, what just happened? Is there something I missed? Hold on, let me hit back real quick. Okay, so here we go. Tydrokos loses an Observer. He's been contained for so long. His opponent's on 4 base. He's stuck on 2 base. And he just can't move out. Basically, like, this is the hardest Zerg contain I have ever seen, and I think the only blunder that we saw from our Protoss player actually was him losing, not losing, but actually allowing his natural to be blocked and not immediately retaliating with, say, a 4 to 5 gate all-in with Zealots. Well, this has been Breaker. If you guys liked what you saw, go ahead and click on that glowing red button to the right that says subscribe. I'll see you guys next time.